I just now take you to their questions. There are two questions here. The first of all, I have not gone for confession for a long time. Maybe I am deciding now to go for confessions. I can't remember all those venial sins that I have committed for so many years. What do I do? The venial sin especially. You know what's a venial sin? There's a difference between venial sin and mortal sin. The venial sin is that sin or inclination that we have over small things, over small faults, small slips of ours. And the mortal sin is mortis, means death, that which caused the death in us, in our soul. So first of all, the venial sins. We say that venial sin surely should be confessed, but we need not be scrupulous. We need not be scrupulous that I didn't do like this, I looked like that, and I got angry, I gossiped. There are so many small things that are there. So you can confess as much you can remember and leave it to the Lord. You need not be very scrupulous about the venial sins, because God always forgets. The book of Psalms says, Lord, who can, if you were to remember all the number of sins or the guilt that I have, who would survive? Who would survive? The Lord doesn't want the list of our sins, doesn't want the number of our sins. We need not be that much scrupulous about it. And therefore God forgives us. We need to confess as much as we can remember, but we need not be scrupulous. The second question is about the 10 commandments and what are the mortal sins contained in these 10 commandments. The 10 commandments, breaking of the 10 commandments becomes a mortal sin, an act, not just an idea, not just a teaching as such. So therefore, when we analyze the 10 commandments, there are 10 sinful aspects in that, sinful acts in that. The first of all, we say, believe in one God, but we may be having many other gods. We may be worshipping idols. That is a big sin. Secondly, do not take the name of the Lord in vain. It doesn't mean that only that we take the name of the Lord, but we take it badly. We curse God. We dishonor the name of God. And conversely also, we also curse each other. And cursing is as good as opposite of God's blessing, which God doesn't want. God doesn't curse anybody. And we, by cursing God, it doesn't affect the Lord. It doesn't affect God. It affects us. Thirdly, the Sabbath. Keep the Sabbath holy. The Sunday. The Sunday is a beautiful day for us. The Sunday is the day of the Lord, wherein we go for Mass, we go for the Eucharist, and we try to keep the day holy, perhaps by some reading, by catechism, by doing good works. It's the day of the family. It's the day of the community, and therefore perhaps not going to Sunday Mass would be a mortal sin. Fourthly, what we call honor your parents. Disobeying your parents, perhaps disrespecting your parents is a sin, because they have given you birth, they have given you life, they have sacrificed themselves, and therefore a person who hurts very much his parents does commit a mortal sin. Number 5 is do not kill. Do not kill. Of course, this is some big sin. We can't take the life of anybody, except we say in self-defense or perhaps for legitimate needs. Perhaps a person has done something for which he is punished. Except for that, no one has got a right over the life of the other person. And therefore, to kill a person is surely what we call a sin, a mortal sin. Number 6, the 6th commandment says, do not commit adultery. Adultery means having a relationship with another person who is not married to you. And this is not only betrayal, this is also perhaps what we call betraying not only the trust that we have, but also causing a sense of guilt in yourself. It is almost saying that I do not bother about you. I don't care for you. I have another person in my life, and therefore adultery is a big sin. Number 7 is do not rob or ill, make something, deprive someone of the other persons. When we do this, perhaps his own earnings, his own hard work is also perhaps devoured by us, and therefore doing injustice to his property, to his things, surely is not the correct one. The next commandment is do not give false witness. Many a times the judges, the statements, the judgments depend on our witnesses, and therefore when I say what I have seen, I say I have not seen, and what I have not seen, I create a story and say I have seen. Perhaps that will condemn or rather cause injustice, and therefore that is also a sin. The sin of the 9th commandment is do not covet your neighbor's wife or neighbor's what we call affections. Like the 6th commandment, this also commandment says that God has blessed you with a happy family life, do not commit sins against your family by desiring or coveting other persons in your life. And finally, the 10th commandment says that do not covet another person's property or things. Perhaps, we say the desire is such a passion that sometimes it makes us do things that are irrational. Sometimes for some people to get one property that is on the other side, or perhaps some property that is encroached on your side also, we become so passionate, we are ready to kill people for an inch of land for other people. And sometimes we also covet or rather desire other people's property. When you see someone, you either try to spoil that person's name, that he got that particular gold or decorations or perhaps whatever possessions he has got through ill-gotten wealth, we say. We destroy the person's reputation. At the same time, if it comes to me, I am very happy. So this is covetousness, we call it, which is also a sin. So these are the mortal sins that we can commit as regards the 10 commandments that we have. So my dear friends, I wish you well. This Holy Week, let it be a holy experience for you as you go from Palm Sunday till the Easter Sunday in a little of silence, in prayerful atmosphere, sacrifice, and at the same time companionship of being together. May God bless your families very specially in this Holy Week.